Today we're going to be ranking all of the best things that we just saw at the Sphere in the UFC, guys, because I wanted to remember this video, and there were so many things to talk about, man. I wanted to remember this entire event. It was the greatest UFC combat sports event that I've ever seen. It lived up all the hype. Actually, it exceeded all the hype, to be honest with you, because I wasn't so sure that this event was going to go well. I didn't have faith in the UFC, but I should have had faith in Dana White that he got it done. He was very confident. O'Malley was confident. I want to talk about everything that went on in that Sphere besides the actual fights. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. Guys, let's talk about everything that went down at the Sphere. It's important to note that these are not just random photos. I took these all from the stuff that the UFC was posting throughout. So I went back and looked at what they were talking about. I took everything besides the actual fights themselves. So a lot of graphics, a lot of things going on at the Sphere, a lot of brand new, unique things, okay? Now, the initial Sphere right before the event started, it looked really cool. Had the Noche UFC thing on. There's nothing really that stands out. And it's important to note, though, I'm comparing all of these together, okay? There's nothing that was actually bad. I doubt anything's going to go into the D tier. I'm thinking in comparison to everything here, it does not stack up. That's going to go into the C tier. The viral photo, of Jon Jones and Alex Pereira. You know, as much as I don't like Jon Jones, it's kind of like a badass picture, you know? Two of the greats coming in together. The aura there is just on another level, you know, two guys coming in at a magnificent event, taking a picture together, announcing the Jon Jones card. It's going to be really fun. Alex Pereira is fighting too. But at the end of the day, also doesn't stack up to everything else that we're going to talk about. I'm going to also throw this into the C tier. The first graphic that we have, this was beautiful. And I hope that you guys can see it, man. I loved the way, and I don't even know how to describe it, all of the little particles in the air that they did, transitioning into the fight that we were going to see. It was absolutely beautiful. And by the way, I love what they did with the Mexican culture. I find their culture absolutely fascinating. This is coming from somebody, and this is what I love about Mexican culture, man. How much they're really, really into their people. I live in Canada. There is no culture there. Nobody here ever says hey, I'm Canadian. I wish that was the case. That would be really cool. But everybody here they're coming from their home place. I'm from Ireland, not me, but down the road, I'm pretty Irish. So that's what I have to go around saying. And I wish I could go around saying that I'm a Canadian, man, because I live here. I was born here. But that you're weird if you say that. It's just strange how that works, man. But anyways, so I find it fascinating, all of the love that the UFC showed for the Mexican people, you know? I'm going to throw this one to the A tier. Very, very cool graphics. So Diego Lopez stepping in the corner for Alexa Grasso. I did not know that he was going to be in Alexa Grasso's corner. I think that's fantastic. Just went through a brutal war with Brian Ortega. The dude's changing, laughing. All right, time to get into a corner. It was a very wholesome moment. It was really, really cool on Diego Lopez's part. I'm going to throw this into the B tier. Now, what they did with Sean O'Malley is, if you guys remember, they had the drones come up and they had kind of this, I don't want to say it was a constellation of Sean O'Malley, but they kind of just had the graphics kind of pop up. If you guys know what I'm talking about, it looked like that. Very, very, it's difficult to describe, but at the end of the day, it was just a projection of Sean O'Malley. It was cool, but when talking about everything else over here, I don't think it stacks up, and I'm going to also throw this one to the C tier. I'm going to put it right below, or right ahead of the picture of Jones and Pereira. Something that I loved seeing, and I really, really loved seeing it, is after the fights, Merab and Valentina dancing together, them getting their titles. Valentina recapturing her title, and Merab Dvalishvili finally getting the title that he's wanted for so long. They were dancing together. They were happy. Very, very wholesome moment. I'm also going to throw this into the A tier. I don't know if we're going to beat the graphics tonight, man. Now, okay, guys. Okay, I wish I could bring this up even more for you guys, but the pictures are really, really small for tier maker. This was my favorite part of the event, I believe. I thought this graphic was so cool, and I'm pretty sure it was for Shevchenko and Grasso. The Coliseum in space. It was so well done. The transitions there, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is going to the S tier for sure, and I think that's going to be my favorite thing that we talk about, but let's continue on to just the galaxy. There were two different kind of showings. They had movies going through space. I thought it was fascinating. I'm a sucker for galaxy things, okay? I'm fascinated with space. I love the stars, and they did such a good job at really dragging us into what everybody was seeing in the audience. I loved both of these. I will say, though, they got really intense with this one, so I liked it better than just the still, not the still one. You can see the stars and just kind of things moving around the distance. This one's going into the A tier. the top of A tier, and this other space one's going into the S tier. Very, very cool. Now, the kind of outside environment that they had here for one of the fights was also really cool. Are these two the same ones? Regardless, I can rank them kind of the same. I thought this was really, really beautiful as well. What I really liked about it was you could hear the insects. You could hear the jungle. Like, it was really cool the way they were doing it. And the clouds, like, it really made you feel like these guys were fighting outside. Something, by the way, speaking of the sphere, that I wish that the UFC did is I don't know why they didn't turn the camera around. Why couldn't we see the fighters fighting with the sphere on in the background? I thought that was a huge missed opportunity, to be honest with you. So both of these are very cool. I'm assuming that they're the same thing. I'm going to put them into the S tier as well. Very cool. Raul Rosas Jr.'s collective Chiwiwi. Chiwiwi. So I'm not on the Chiwiwi train. I find it funny. I like the hype train of Raul Rosas Jr., but unfortunately, in comparing it to everything else, I'm going to be throwing that into the C tier as well. Another kind of graphic that the sphere had. This one I actually didn't like nearly as much. I didn't have a problem with it. I think this was Daniel Zellhuber's, but it was just like it was a village, daytime, the clouds were moving. It was really cool, don't get me wrong, but this one didn't really make me go, whoa, wow, that's awesome. I'm going to throw it into the top of B tier, right in front of Diego Lopez. Another graphic of just kind of a crowd. Looked cool. Nothing else to talk about it. I'm going to throw this into B tier as well, right behind Diego Lopez. Diego left me feeling a little bit extra. Fireworks, and these two are still more of the same that we have going on over here. A little bit more of the same like we were talking about over here. It's just a Mexican village. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, this one might be Daniel Zellhuber's. Regardless, I'm going to also throw this one into the B tier. I'm going to throw it right... Actually, I'm going to put it in front of the daytime one. That's what I liked. I'm almost sure this was Sean O'Malley's, like the kind of futuristic Mexican village that they had going on there. It was another thing that was just really, really cool to see. The intricate detail on it was like next level, man. The design was probably the best that we've seen. The most work that went into it. But at the end of the day, I didn't like it as much as I was being dragged through over here. But I'm going to put it at the top of A tier. I don't like it as much as these ones. Now, moving on to the new outfits, okay? I actually really, really like this a lot more than typically what we get, and I am a little bit conflicted on how I feel about this because at the end of the day, I know it's a cage fight. I know I shouldn't really be picky and like get all Habib about everything, but I did like seeing a little bit like this, for example. This was way more elegant than what we're used to seeing, and I thought it was just really nice, okay? So don't take this the wrong way, truthfully. I'm speaking about the outfits. I'm speaking about the change in scenery. Don't take this as like I'm SIMPing, you know what I mean? I have to spell that word for YouTube, and you know that they're cracking down that word apparently. So this one, it doesn't stack up to any of the graphics really. So I don't know, man. It was a really nice change to see though. This one specifically and this one specifically. Now, this one was good too. Like I like the nod to the Mexican culture, man. Very, very cool. I'm going to throw these two together. This one was just cool, by the way. Like, I don't even know what it has to do with America, but, like, it reminded me of, like, this is going to sound so stupid. It reminded me of a Fortnite skin that I use. Like it looked more Egyptian to me, but that might sound so out of touch, dude. It might sound so out of touch. I look at that and I think ancient Egypt, okay? I don't know what's going on. I think of King Tut, okay? I'm going to throw... These graphics didn't really impress me. I'm going to throw these two into the top of B tier. I thought these were cooler, and this was cool as well, but I'm going to throw it at the top as, I'm going to put it right there, and this one I didn't like. Actually, I flat out didn't like it. D tier. Not my cup of tea. This one was really cool, like the futuristic looking one. Like, this can't be Mexican, right? That's why I'm thinking, like, this one was Egypt. I thought this was cool. I'm going to also throw this one into the B tier. I'm going to put it in between. I don't know. No, I'm going to put it right there. Now, the viral photo that went on, and I can't even tell who's in it, Kelvin Gastelum, Brandon Moreno, Whaley, and the Korean Zombie, and there was one more in there that I can't tell who it is. Crap. But it was cool to see. They were just showing it off. But at the end of the day, it's just a picture that went viral. I'm going to also throw it to the bottom of C tier. Now, the initial graphics that came on, this one was really cool. And this one really made me sit down and go like, whoa, that's what the sphere does. Because I was initially really disappointed in the sphere. I thought it was just going to be like that metal wall. I didn't know it was going to open. I know it's so dumb. I didn't know it was going to open. And then when it did, I was so impressed. It kind of reminded me of like, if any of you guys watch that old movie Hellboy 2, kind of reminded me like of that final battle scene. Super, super cool in my opinion. I'm throwing this one into the A tier, top of A tier. I loved it. This one was the same thing. except it didn't have that like pop to it because we've already seen the gold. It was the same graphic. It just didn't hit the same, okay? I'm actually going to throw this one, comparing it to, yeah, I'm going to throw this one to the C tier. I'm going to put it right in front of Sean O'Malley. This one was sick. I forgot about this one. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, what was it? Lionheads? Like, they were outside. They were ready. Like, this is like, they were ready for a tribal battle. That's what I loved about this one. This one's definitely going to the S tier. It was a fantastic graphic. This is my second favorite. Nothing's going to beat this one. Like the Coliseum in space. So cool, by the way. So cool. Now, they did put some shine on when Sean O'Malley and Merab Dvalishvili entered the arena. Sean O'Malley, not necessarily my, don't get me wrong, I like Sean O'Malley, but I'm not really too obsessed with this fit. I'm going to throw him into the D tier ahead of the girl. And Merab's outfit was actually kind of like warrior-ish. I thought he was a little bit cooler coming in. So I'm going to throw Merab into the C tier. I got like really hyped up when Merab was coming in. He looked locked in. He looked ready to go. I got hyped when I saw Merab. So I'm going to throw him, actually, guys, it's going to sound so stupid, man. I'm talking about like my hype level for all this. I'm going to throw him into the C tier. Bruce Buffer, being on outside of the sphere. I don't get the hype, man. Like, I like other announcers more than I like Bruce Buffer. So this one didn't really like wow me. We've already seen what could happen on the outside of the sphere. I'm going to put this at the bottom of C tier, but it's still really, really cool. Now this one, I'm conflicted with this last one because this was the initial thing that we saw at the sphere. And I thought that's all that we were going to get. And I was like, oh my God, this is such a disappointment. The sphere, this is what we spent $20 million on. That's what I was saying the entire time. But because now I look at it as the intro, I'm kind of left feeling a little bit different about it. But I also wasn't nearly hyped up like it was for everything else. So I got to go with my initial feeling. I can't go back and how I'm looking at it with retrospect. I'm going to put it at the bottom of D tier. I was so disappointed when I watched it. So guys, let me know what you liked about the sphere down below. This one was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. Like the things in the S tier, the pictures that I'm putting over here don't do it justice one little bit. Of course, you guys probably watched it if you're watching this video. Let me know what you liked about the sphere down below. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Guys, if you want to continue watching the channel, this is a little bit of a short video. Why don't you check out this other tier list video that we did on the channel? I would love to have you guys over there. Take care, everybody.